Hi, everyone. Good morning from California on Saturday morning. And good morning to Lauren. She is calling me from New York, one of my favorite cities in the world. And Lauren and I will be chatting today about her experiences trying to figure out to get the diagnosis of her autism and what she does today with her career and some tips for sensory accommodations if you are an adult with autism, and also for businesses, work accommodations for business owners. So Lauren, let's start with you and tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm Lauren Melissa, and I am from California, even though I'm in New York right now.
Yeah.
And I actually wasn't diagnosed with autism until much later in my life. I was diagnosed at age 23, and that was due in large to the fact that I did very well in school. I got very good grades, and I didn't cause a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Even though I was struggling socially,
Yeah.
so it went largely unnoticed. Then around the time that I was 23, after being in the workplace for a while, I started to recognize that the challenges that I faced in school, they were just following me, and they were always around social issues.
Okay.
And so after looking up certain things about social mistakes and struggles, I happened upon Rudy Simone's Traits and Symptoms of Women on the Autism Spectrum.
That's a
and
very
that just
good book.
that just really opened the door for me. And from there, I sought a diagnosis and received one.
Okay. Can you share with us the clinician's name who diagnosed you? Because for many, many women that I've talked to, it's very difficult to find a clinician who can accurately diagnose women and also provide appropriate, resources and help and counseling. So I think, whenever we have an opportunity to spotlight a great clinician, I think that's important.
Yeah, so her name's Dr. Laura Maddox, and she's in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and she sees men and women, boys and girls on the autism spectrum. She can diagnose, and she can also provide follow-up counseling.
That's awesome. So tell us about your work, as much as you're willing to share, of course. We're very, very curious about what you do, and how is it getting this job, and how do you integrate yourself into the work? So I'll stop there because I have a lot of questions. Go ahead.
So actually, for the last 7 years, I've been working as an educator in early childhood and elementary school. And then just this year, I switched to a new career in librarianship. So that's been a really fun and challenging journey. I went into education straight out of my undergrad. And really enjoyed working with young children. Children are very straightforward. They're very honest. And so being on the autism spectrum, it's wonderful to work with children who always express themselves as they are, and I can express myself as I am, and we can communicate really effectively. On the other hand, though, being an educator involves more than just working with children. It involves working with your colleagues, working with your principal, your administration, and with the children's parent.
Yes.
They come
with the package.
It's a very social job. And while I enjoyed every aspect of that, I also recognized the amount of burnout it was creating in my life.
Okay.
And so I wanted to find a way that I could still work with young people and lifelong learning, but in an environment that was more conducive to my needs as an autistic woman. And so I realized that I've always loved libraries, and I went into a library program and then received my master's degree, and now I'm working in libraries.
Okay. How open are you when you were looking for a job during the interview? How open were you to disclose your diagnosis?
Well, as an educator, actually started that career before I was diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't open at all because I didn't know.
Yes,
um,
exactly. But now that
and
you
then
know.
now that I know, I typically, when I fill out a job application, if it asks in the questionnaire, like,
Mm-hmm.
do you have a disability?
Mm-hmm.
I will say yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be confidential, and I'm on the journey of figuring out how confidential that really is. But
Yes.
I do say yes. However, whenever there is an application that asks me if I require any workplace accommodations,
Mm-hmm.
I do not fill it out on the application.
Okay.
I do not actually write anywhere on the application where it's not confidential that I have a disability.
Mm-hmm.
And I do that large in part because I
Mm-hmm.
do not apply for jobs where the environment isn't already somewhat conducive to
Mm-hmm.
making me comfortable while being on the
Yeah.
spectrum.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and then when it comes to interacting with your colleagues and friends, how does that work?
At work, I generally come out as
Mm-hmm.
autistic when there's a very opportune moment where it can be seen
Yes.
in a positive light.
Yes.
That's how I like to present it from the get-go, but
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean that it stays that way the whole time. I
Mm-hmm.
want it to start off positive, me being autistic, and
Mm-hmm.
then from there continue to grow my workplace's awareness around needs that I might have.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
lot of the time, though, when I have a workplace need, when I need
Mm-hmm.
support somewhere, I'll
Mm-hmm.
just do it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So if I
Yes.
need the lights to be turned off, I just turn off the lights. And if
Yes.
someone says, "Why did you turn off those lights?" I say, "Because they were bothering me." And
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
actually say, "Because I'm autistic," unless it gets to a point where I have to, and then
Mhm.
I will bring it up. But it's quite surprising how much people just let you do if you just take action
Yeah.
to do it for yourself.
Yes. Yes. That's a very, very good tip. I think don't be afraid to communicate your needs. And a lot of people are afraid to take care of themselves in the workplace, but then it just breaks down very, very quickly, right? So let's talk about sensory accommodations at work. So tell us about your sensory challenges. So we'll talk about from your point of view first, and tips that you can share if you are an adult with autism and you have to work with other people, a lot of things going on. So, what are some of those tips?
So I actually have a lot of sensory sensitivities.
Mm-hmm.
They usually revolve mostly around lighting,
Mm-hmm.
around and then around clothing and how it
Mm-hmm.
feels,
Mm-hmm.
and also it revolves around smells
Yeah.
and sounds. So
Right.
that is quite a bit.
Yes.
I
But
think
you're a
like
good eater, so that doesn't.
yes,
You have
I'm
a
not.
flexible palate,
I
so
do. I'm
yeah,
not a
that's great.
taste. I don't have any taste sensitivities
Yes,
really, so
that's
it's
good.
very
That's good.
nice. So lighting though I think is the big one
Mm-hmm.
because the biggest one at least when I start out at a workplace because it
Mm-hmm.
immediately impacts my ability to focus.
Yeah.
It causes me to have pain, like headache,
Mm. Mm.
and it can make me generally irritable, and I don't want to be an irritable employee.
No, 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 no. Okay.
So when I apply for a job, a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
time I go to check first off what the lighting is like in that
Yeah.
environment.
Okay.
Um, so there have been times when I had to work in a classroom that had
Mm-hmm.
fluorescent lighting,
Yeah.
and I would just not use the fluorescent lighting and bring and purchase my own lamps and light
Ah,
my room
okay.
with lamps and always keep my windows open for natural lighting.
Okay.
And that was a way to get around that. And
Okay.
then if I had to go to staff meetings with this fluorescent lighting, I would seat myself next to a window so as to
Okay.
minimize that pain.
Okay.
So that's one way I got around that. I also know that there are glasses that people often use to
Uh-huh.
filter blue light when looking at their cell
Uh,
phone.
okay.
They actually also help reduce the pain from fluorescent
Mm-hmm.
lighting, and so those
Mm-hmm.
can be really useful for that as well.
Are those type of glasses, can you get them anywhere?
You can get them at Barnes and Noble.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
Remember that, you guys. Remember that, Barnes and Noble. Okay, so that's good. So headsets, certain types of glasses, and smell. There's really nothing you can do about smell. Unless you're in Japan, you can wear mask all the time and just blend in with everyone. I guess you can always remove yourself if possible, right?
Right.
Do you need sensory breaks?
So sensory breaks, I take them, but in a very quiet way.
Mm-hmm.
I'll often just excuse myself to go to the bathroom and not come
Mm.
back for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Once I was having such severe pain from lighting and
Uh-huh.
sound that I
Uh-huh.
took my lunch break in my car.
Uh-huh.
And that was really nice because I could
Nice and
control my entire
quiet. Yeah.
environment and it was
Yeah.
quiet and I could control like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the temperature, and it gave me 30 minutes of full reset time,
Mm-hmm.
and that was really helpful, and I was able to finish the rest of my day.
Okay, that's great. So those are really, really good tips. So if you are a business owner, small business owner, and you don't know much about autism and sensory challenges, so what are some tips you can share for businesses in terms of providing accommodations for people
Yeah.
with sensory challenges?
I think the first thing would be to consider universal design for your small business. It
Mm-hmm.
really shows that when your business has been adjusted to like work for people with needs and supports, that it
Mm-hmm.
actually helps everyone who works there.
Yes, I
So
agree.
nobody really actually likes fluorescent lighting, so just
Right.
get rid of
It's not good for you.
it. Yeah,
It's not good for you.
yeah.
Yes.
And everyone benefits from having a minimalistic environment with little
Yeah.
clutter,
Yes.
with open
That's
windows,
true.
and with plants
Mm-hmm.
that help soften the edges of the workspace.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say just look into having a minimalistic and
Mm-hmm.
warm office
Mm-hmm.
space. And then you've
Mm-hmm.
taken care of people who are autistic as well as all of your employees and yourself.
Yeah, I think when we talk about accommodations, these accommodations are actually good for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So when I visited the Google campus, Facebook, it was designed in such a way that make people want to work there,
Yeah.
because at Google they have the nap pots, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And at Facebook on the roof, they have a garden where people can just do walks around the labs, and it's a little bit of fresh air, and and it's good for everyone, to
Yeah.
have a little bit of quiet space. Uh, so I think the more we share these tips to businesses, hopefully everyone can actually understand, well, hiring people who are not neurotypical, it's more similar than different, so that's what you just shared with us here, which is very, very important. Is there anything else you want to share with potential business owners who might be considering hiring people with different abilities?
Yes, I would say to do part of your interview process in writing. So
Mm.
that way, people who are more nonverbal or just
Mm-hmm.
it takes them longer to process verbally, they can
Mm-hmm.
have a chance to showcase their skills in
Mm-hmm.
a writing interview.
Yes, that's
I
a
would
good tip.
I would also say that there's been a trend to make quiet rooms in
Yes.
businesses,
Yeah.
but what I've seen is that a lot of time these quiet rooms aren't actually conducive to relaxation.
Mm.
So just being sure that the room is actually comfortable, that
Mm-hmm.
there is an opportunity to play music if it's wanted, that
Mm-hmm.
it smells nice, that it feels cozy, that there's good lighting and multiple ways of sitting. If
Mm-hmm.
you want to make a quiet room in your business, give 100% to it.
Yes. Yeah.
Otherwise, it will just become stressful, and the person who is neurodiverse or
Yeah.
autistic they'll feel uncomfortable in the quiet room and not know how to tell the business owner.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, this is all really, really good information, Lauren. Thank you for sharing your time generously with us on a Saturday in New York City. So thank you so much. And I hope that you'll be willing to hang out with me again another time.
I'd love to. Thanks for this opportunity.